Hi, friends. Welcome back to A Tribe Called Dhillon podcast. I'm Angie Dhillon.
And I'm Rose Dhillon.
And I'm Alvin Dhillon.
Hope you had a great week. We had a good week. We're back in studio. We have a super fun episode lined up for you today. But before we get to that, you know the routine. It's the win of the week segment. I'm going to go first today. I usually always go left and right. And today I'm going to go first. Not sure if you got a chance in the previous episode. I talked about an amazing eyelash curler that I bought from Shiseido. So ladies, you all know beauty hack. Anytime you get a good eyelash curler, you have to make sure it accompanies with a great mascara. So I have used a ton of mascaras through the course of my life. You name it, every mascara I have probably tried, from Huda Beauty to Buxom to like L'Oreal, every single one. And I discovered a new amazing mascara that gives you length, gives you volume, thicker lashes. It gets right into your little corner teeny tiny lashes and just makes your lashes like pop. So this one here is called Lash Paradise by L'Oreal. You can pick it up at one of your local drugstores. I believe it's between $10 to $15. It doesn't break the bank, but it's an amazing mascara. So once again, a Lash Paradise from L'Oreal. Well, that's my win. And
very cool.
Over to you, Al.
Alrighty. Mine, I guess it's a win for me and a win for the tribe. I was reminded that I had a piece of a video, a short film that we had shot, or I put some footage together that I didn't complete because it was missing a piece and I'd forgotten about it. And then Rose reminded me and said, no, we need to finish up that video. And I kept saying, no, I've already finished it. So it was just like a small little skit. And I went online on my computer and I was like, oh, it's like 95% complete. I was missing just one little piece of it. So I went through, found some footage, and I completed it. It actually looked pretty sick. So you guys will be seeing that. So stay tuned. Probably in a month or two, it's going to be getting dropped according to Angie's schedule. So whatever she decides when it comes out, but it's pretty sweet. So when I do things like that and I look back at the work and I say, I can get better at this. So I do find creating and shooting videos and editing is so cool. Like it's because you look at something most basic, like you just walking down the street. And then you chop it, you put into slow-mo, add some music. It sounds simple, but when you actually put it together, you're like, oh, that little walking scene's so cool. Now it looks so cool.
Gives a better story.
Good for you, Al.
Gives it a cool factor.
And you know what? International Siblings Day is coming up on April 10th. So perhaps we've got two videos actually in the lineup right now that
we should drop both that day.
I'm looking through our episode directory. We actually have a long directory and the way we put our episodes and how we cue things up. And it's one of those videos that, you know, it makes you feel good and it elevates, motivates, and inspires you. So we're just trying to figure out the right time to drop those two videos. So stay tuned. It's going to be coming to all of our social channels. And Al is the mastermind behind creating these epic cinematography.
Yes.
I think he needs to get an intern with Steven Spielberg.
I know. I love creating like this kind of cinematic. Anything cinematic looks so cool. I love watching music videos just for like when there's a good one out and it's really creative. Unfortunately, most of them have the standard stuff with the videos and the cars and whatnot. But when I do see a good music video, I appreciate like the creativity, the production value and everything behind it.
Maybe you can be that change. So then when Drake comes back out, you can be like, let me make one of your videos and tell you how things should be different.
I just need a camera and a few guys to help me out. And that's it. Because once you shot the footage, everything's in the editing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great win for you, Al. Yeah. We're super stoked. I'm super stoked.
It's a great win for me, a great win for you guys, and a greater win for mankind.
For audience, because it's amazing work. I love it. Yeah.
And I'm so proud of us because we're actually coming out of the gates. Like I say gates, when I say gates, it's like we're still starting out. As Rose mentioned before, this is year 3 of the podcast, even though it's physically year 2 of recording, because there was a lot of preparation that we started off before we physically launched the podcast. So I'm really proud of the work that we are throwing out there. And I guess we should say promoting and just putting out, because it's a representation of who we are, our artistic and creative abilities, our values behind it, what we stand for. And the three of us, we are Al more so, I'm number 2 and Rose is 3. We have that perfectionist mentality where we want to just put solid content out there. So I'm so proud because this might be, you know, for someone, this could have been year 5 pushing out this level of content, but we're coming out from the gates to say we have a certain standard that we want to adhere to and maintain. And so, you know, you're going to benefit from that. So great work, Al. Sometimes you just gotta toot your own horn. Toot toot! I love that every time we say that. Over to you, Rose, for your win.
So when I was in high school, I had discovered this song by Tracy Chapman, and it's called Fast Car. I'm sure a lot of people have heard this song. And it was just one of those great songs that just hits your soul, and you're like, yeah, I just want to get out of here. And so fast forward, just recently, Luke Combs did the new version of that song, and it's just as fantastic. His version is different from hers, but it's just as amazing. And so Luke Combs was on the Grammys in February, and he invited Tracy Chapman to come on stage and perform the song together. And it was such a beautiful performance. What I really loved was that it's two different generations, two different genders, two different races. But guess what? Music, like Angie said before, is a universal language. And that's what brings people together. And it was just a really great performance. And I think it's going to go down the history books. So if you're looking for someone to just kind of touch your emotions and invoke something, I would say to check out that Grammy performance.
Nice. I actually have one more really good win aside from my mascara. The three of us watched the slam dunk, the NBA slam dunk contest. And oh man, the winner that won, I want to make sure I got his name right, Mac McClung. You have to go back and actually look up the dunk that he did. He did a dunk over Shaquille O'Neal, Al. Yeah. Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq's like what, 7 feet, right?
Yeah, he's like 7'1" or something like that.
Yeah. So go back and watch the NBA 2024 slam dunk competition, because this was an epic. He got perfect score. He cleaned the house, and we introduced Rose to the slam dunk competition.
Yeah, I loved it. I never would have watched it before, but I was like, that is talent. And I admired the hard work, because that guy wasn't as tall as regular basketball players either.
He had a lot of
That's what was
jump.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get into it. I kind of like this touchscreen. This is so cool. I feel like Stephen Bartlett now. Touching things. Yeah, I always see him touching. Now I get it. Right?
Right.
Now I know. And then you're kind of like, oh no, like how do I quickly get back into this? As you can tell, I'm a little bit of the dinosaur in the family here. I'm kind of learning to navigate and all this stuff. So this is amazing technology. And today we're super excited about today's episode. We know the past few months it's been some heavy content on the tribe. We know, but it's much needed conversations to grow and to evolve and to transform, and you get to see our journey and experience it with us. But today, guess what, y'all? It's a super fun episode. We're actually going to be talking about, and I just got to provide some context. So listen, we get analytics. We know the demographic of our audience on all of our social platforms. We know that we have a younger hip crowd. Now, we also know now that on YouTube, we actually have a growing audience that is from 50 to 65. So thank you to all of our aunts and uncles and everyone out there in that age group, because that age group just came out of nowhere. So we wanted to table and I guess do a episode on just trendy sayings and just what the cool kids are saying today, if you know what I mean. We also know that we have an international audience. We have people from Asia, Europe, Japan, Italy, and I think Germany now on board. So thank you for your support. And we just thought, let's table an episode on what the cool kids in the West are saying. Yeah. And we can help you out in the East and everywhere in between. So if someone talks to you or says this thing, you might not be like me and secretly Google afterwards, be like, what does that actually mean? Because I actually did this when I heard YOLO the first time. And the best was my aunt who's older in her 60s brought it up, and she sent it in a text something, and she said YOLO. And I was like, my aunt knows YOLO and I don't know what YOLO means. Like, we have a problem.
And I want to add another reason this is really great for you guys too, is because we know that a lot of jobs now are kind of all over the world. So a lot of North American companies have given their work out to parts of Asia, Indonesia. So you might be working with these people and be like, what are they saying? So this episode is going to be helpful for you when they send you a message and they put LOL or they put LMAO and you're like, what is this? You'll be able to figure out what they mean.
Yeah. And a lot of times, especially like you said now with remote work, you're going to have colleagues in different states, different countries. I remember hearing this one on a call. This was before, I guess, we went on our corporate call, and there was a bunch of us colleagues on there, and we said something, and someone said, she's such a Karen. She's such a Karen. And I had never heard of that phrase before. I, of course, went and Googled it and self-taught myself what it means. But let's talk about some of these terms today.
Let's do it.
And let's see what our interpretation of these words are. So in no order, Rose, Al, whoever speaks first, I'm not going to say Rose, you go first, or Alvin, but whoever starts talking first and the other person just has to listen and then give me what your version is.
I'm going to let Al answer most of them, Ange, because I don't want to let everyone know how outdated I am and how dinosaur I am.
I created the question, so therefore I'm not going to answer because I am of that generation where some of it I was like, oh, damn, I don't know what that is. Or as Al would say, oh, God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. So between you two, I want to know, from younger millennial to older millennial, like who's cool? Okay.
I'm cool.
Definitely the cooler one.
So it's discussing hip and trendy terms. Al, what's a Karen?
Oh,
your interpretation of a Karen.
My interpretation of a Karen is like a self-entitled, generally a white person that's causing problems for a visible minority and bringing unnecessary attention to things that don't require anybody's attention, but she's creating this problem just because she is a Caucasian and has rights and is bringing attention to something that's nonsense, and it's usually over a colored person, and it's just that's why they get labeled a Karen. Because I think it's been a couple of years where there was a lady, and I think it started in New York, where a black man was jogging and a lady started screaming and saying he's trying to attack me or do things, and he was recording the whole time, and he recorded her on the phone talking to the police, screaming and making up lies, saying, oh my God, he's doing things to me, and the camera's clearly showing him standing like 25 feet away recording her, and she's screaming on the phone, freaking out like someone is attacking her. So when she didn't realize that, maybe she didn't see that he's actually recording this footage. So when the police came and he aired the footage online, and it went viral because her name was Karen, and they said, look what Karens are doing now to people, because she was basically trying to get him in jail, and he was completely minding his own business, doing nothing.
Geez. And so my interpretation of Karen, way off. Like I knew it was a Caucasian woman, but I thought it was a woman who was like empowering other women and it was like screaming like rights for women. Come on, wait, ladies, we should have the same rights as men. And like, that's what I thought a Karen was. So I was like, yeah, you go, Karen. Like I no clue it was that. Okay. I just got educated.
You probably were talking about Janice. Yeah, go Janice, not Karen.
We actually have a cousin named Janice too, but I genuinely feel bad for all the Karens out there. I know a lot of good Karens. I work with a couple of Karens.
I do too.
Yeah, and I work with a couple of really nice Karens. I feel bad, and they know, they're like, we know our name gets a bad rap, but I'm going to give you the dictionary version of online what a Karen actually stands for. So a Karen is a term used to describe a middle-aged white woman typically perceived as entitled, privileged, and demanding. She often complains or makes unreasonable requests, especially in retail or customer service settings. Okay, let's go. Moving on. What does throwing shade refer to?
That's when you're trying to like basically, let's say take the spotlight off of me and start talking smack about somebody else. So let's say we're having a conversation and then I don't know where you start talking smack about somebody else that's not here in this conversation. You're basically throwing shade on them. Like, oh, well, I heard this person's doing this. And essentially it's just talking smack, I think.
Okay.
Oh, I thought throwing shade is when you're like insulting another person, right? Like if you're like, oh, nice. Look at your dress. Your dress is ugly. So I thought throwing shade is saying something insulting to a person.
Probably right. It's probably just the general term. Whenever you're talking smack, you're throwing shade on that person.
Yeah.
Right. You're not talking good about them. So
right. But I didn't know. Is it one of those things that like throwing shade is you say in front of I thought it was in front of the person's face, not behind their back. Because then there's gossip and then there's.
It's probably both. You can probably say it to them and behind their back.
I learned this term when I watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And yes, I am guilty of watching the Real Housewives series. And I learned that from watching that show. But what throwing shade actually refers to, it's the act of subtly or indirectly insulting or criticizing someone.
Okay, that's what
that's what that means. Okay, slay. What does slay mean?
We always use guys. You always wear that where you're slaying it, like killing it. Like if you're out there and you're talking to a bunch of girls, you're getting numbers, you're slaying, man. Or you picked up a bunch of hot girls, you're like, oh, you slayed, man. You killed it that night. Or if you're even like rocking a cool suit or you're looking good, you're having a good night, you're killing it, you're slaying.
Yeah, that was pretty accurate, Rose.
Yeah. So right when you said that word, the first thought that crossed my mind was Santa sleigh.
Really?
Yep.
You went to
I was thinking of Santa and his sleigh coming around. I was like, oh, is she talking about Santa?
That's S-L-E-I-G-H. This is S-L-A-Y.
Oh, sleigh. Oh, yeah. No, I don't know that. But I just thought that was Santa's sleigh.
Really?
Yeah.
So Rose didn't know. 1 for Al, 1 for younger millennial, and 0 for older millennial.
Okay.
Slay, actually, you're right, Al. It's a term used to express admiration, approval, or awe in response to someone's exceptional performance, style, or appearance. It's often used in the context of fashion, beauty, or talent.
You gotta start reading less books, more MTV.
I was just gonna say that.
More MTV.
She made me watch the Housewives of Beverly Hills because she's like,
That's
you
terrible.
watch way too many podcasts.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, like, all I do is listen to men and read men's books. Oh my God, maybe I'm losing the woman in me. And so I made it to the season. If it wasn't for, I think, all that drama with that woman's marriage, I wouldn't have been able to get through that because it was horrible. I was
I've been
like,
watching that.
I'm not going to get my time back, Angie.
Yeah, but you still learn something that we all have problems. We all have stuff going on.
They don't have real life problems. They have rich people problems.
That's terrible.
Buying
Rose.
$60,000 earrings are not problems.
Jesus, $60,000
Yeah.
earrings.
Okay, moving on. What does FOMO mean?
I know this one. Fear of missing out.
Right. And it refers to the anxiety or unease that arises from the fear of missing out on a social
And again,
event.
just if you're in India, because I know a lot of our audiences in India, they're going to be like, are you serious right now? Yeah, I'm sorry to say that. So a lot of this young generation I have to stay home on a Friday night because I got to do homework rather than go party with my friends. So they refer to that as FOMO on their Snapchat. Yeah.
Good. Okay, what does spilling the tea mean?
That one, I know about it because I had to Google that. I find it such a dumb saying, but I think you guys first heard it, and I kept hearing it when you're watching those shows, those housewife shows. They kept talking about it on there.
Oh.
I was like, spilling the tea. I was like, how about if the person drinks coffee?
So is it gossiping?
Yeah, it's like, it's because usually, obviously, you say now you're having coffee or a drink, and then
And you're spilling the
start
tea. Oh,
gossiping.
that makes sense. You're gossiping.
You're
Yeah.
gossiping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So spilling the tea is a phrase
Spilling the
used
coffee.
used to describe the act of sharing gossip, secrets, or juicy information.
Oh.
Okay, we already discussed YOLO. We know what that means. It's an acronym that emphasizes the importance of seizing the moment and living life to the fullest. So YOLO is you only live once.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this one was really interesting. I actually just heard about a friend of our colleague of mine said this one to me over the text on something, and it was the first time I had heard of this. So have you heard of Mum's the Word?
That I've been hearing for a
I've
long
heard this.
time.
It's an old one.
Yeah, it's an old
And
saying.
it kind of came back, but I don't remember what it means now. Mum's the word.
Al,
Like
do you
keeping a
want to-
secret?
I couldn't get exactly where it came from or why they say it, but I think it means like when we have an understanding and we have an agreement, but we're not going to talk about it now moving forward with these people. So it's like, hey, mum's the word.
Okay, so Mum's the Word actually is an expression that means to keep quiet or to keep information secret or to keep something confidential or sensitive matters. Don't say anything. Okay.
That's like diaper test. You know what diaper test is?
The leak thing.
Yeah.
No,
I remember
actually.
my old boss, I'll never forget. Sonny said to me at work, and he's like, okay, I'm telling you this. And if it gets out, I know it's you. This is your diaper test. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, if it leaks out, I know you were the one. I was
That's
like,
a good
oh.
saying.
And then I started using it all the time. I tell people, I'm telling you this is your diaper test.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay. Next one. I feel we all know what this one. When someone uses the word lit. What does
I love
that
that
mean?
word.
Al,
they're
you use that
drunk,
word, yeah.
stoned,
We all know that. Yeah, it's
high.
when we're going to go out tonight, we have a good night. We're all going to get lit. That means we're going to be, the shots, the drinks going to be flowing.
Yeah.
The weed's going to be smoking. And we're going to have a
Wow.
great night and we're going to party.
Yeah.
Okay, according to Google, it's actually used to describe something that is exciting, excellent, or amazing.
That's right.
Oh.
It is. And that's
Yeah,
why
it's
you
more
get
in a party
lit.
context. I would say, I hear people saying, oh, I'm getting lit tonight. Yeah.
Okay, now this one, Rose, this was the first time you had heard me say this, and this was on our Jordan episode when we're talking about air.
Yeah.
And I said, Michael Jordan is the GOAT of
Yeah.
basketball. And then you asked me afterwards, what does that mean?
Yep.
Do you know what that word means now?
Now I know it's like because he's a legendary, so somebody who's very legendary in their industry.
But what does GOAT stand
Oh,
for?
that I don't know.
Greatest of all time.
Oh,
Yes.
oh. Well, then if you want to talk about acronyms, I just discovered HIPPO in my project management book.
What does that mean?
I already forgot what it means.
Okay, that's
Do you
nice.
want to look it up?
Yeah, it's on my phone.
When I first heard GOAT,
Okay.
I can remember it. It was actually a long time ago when LL Cool J had dropped a CD, and all of a sudden it said GOAT on there, and I said, "What's GOAT?" And then they wrote in small letters, said "Greatest of all time," and I said,
Yep.
"That is so cool."
Yeah,
Okay.
it's to describe
people-
someone that is best in their field or category.
Ready
Rose,
for
okay.
HIPPO?
Yeah.
Highest paid person's opinion.
Oh.
Weird. Never heard that.
I've never heard of
A
that term.
HIPPO in your work is going to be the highest paid person.
You have to speak into the mic.
So,
Highest paid person's opinion.
So I guess our CEO is the hippo.
Yep.
You can't really say that though, just openly because people are going to think you're referring to fat
Right.
people.
I was thinking that
Yeah.
too. If somebody's weight wise,
Especially if someone's like big walking by,
Yeah.
and they go, "Oh, that's the hippo."
Yeah.
There's the hungry hippo.
Okay, Okay, let's get to another one. When someone says, "Oh, they're a savage," what does that mean?
Like they're a beast.
Yeah.
Like they're like unstoppable. When I think of savage, I always just think of like people who believe in themselves and follow their passion, like athletes and even any type of artist, anyone that's doing what they want to do and they don't care about what the ramifications are, people around them. They're just following their truth and they're pursuing it. And I always like love that.
Yeah. So savage describes someone who is bold, fearless, or ruthless in their actions or words.
Yeah, I think more ruthless. I always looked at it as more of a negative connotation, like, oh, they're such a savage. But you looked at it in a very good perspective. Yeah. You spun it around.
I like yours better. And using it for,
yeah,
for good
I like
things.
that one better.
I feel like Rose, both of you, I think this is a term that's being flexed. Oh, I just said one of our words in here right now.
What?
Flex. This word's being flexed around a lot now, and it's coming to light a lot. The term woke.
Oh, yeah.
Right? What is your interpretation of the word?
Well, and I think it depends on who you ask. Because if you ask a 65-year-old man, he's going to be like, oh, yeah, she's woke. And they're angry about that term. But if you ask everybody else, to me, woke means you just have a sense of who you are. You're waking up from the matrix. You're waking up from realizing you're just being programmed any direction you go, the news, the marketing, everywhere. So to me, woke is awakening. And I think it's a positive thing because when you're awakening, you're having a better sense of who you are. And when you get to know yourself better, you make better decisions in life.
Nice. Al, what's your interpretation?
Yep, I'm going to agree with that. Or like you guys like to say, piggyback off of that. I'm going to agree with that. I think that's what it is. It's basically the newer generation, especially with the harnessing of technology. They're starting to say, well, I'm not going to take this nonsense from the previous generation.
Yep.
It's basically modern day slavery. If you think about how people live now, salaries aren't gone up, but the cost of living and housing has gone up so dramatically worldwide that people are like, what are we doing with ourselves now? It's making people think with our time. I'm spending 10 hours a day as far as commuting to work, coming back. And at the end of the month, once I pay off my bills, feed my kids, I still don't have any money. I'm actually in the hole.
Right. Like the fact that we have 20 billionaires, that should just be illegal alone.
Yeah.
Right
if you look at it, when you actually get straight facts, like I think it was like 10 or 15 years ago when I first heard about, it was this video that was circulating online about like how they call it the New World Order. And there was a name for it. It was a lot of conspiracy stuff, but it gave you the idea of like why does 1% of the world's population control 99% of the world's wealth. When that is a real fact, like it's not something made up, that sinks in with, I don't know who you are, but the young generation like me, it sunk in. And I started asking questions like, why is that happening? And the masses are struggling to basically just survive. We're not asking to have like gold watches and the most fanciest things. People want to be able to have the power and the freedom to essentially follow their passion and figure out what are we meant to do, not just say once you go to work and you get stuck in a cycle of bills and responsibilities, it's very hard to get out of that. And now they've got you because you've got to provide.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. So in essence, woke means, what it really means is refers to being socially aware, especially regarding issues of social justice and equality. Yep. And I wish when it comes to the billionaires, I wish there was some sort of an income cap. Like this is the max ceiling because you really don't need to have $60 billion. I wish there was some sort of cap. And then after that, you have to take your funds and use it towards doing good in the world.
I somewhat agree with that, but you can't say you could force people to say that this is what you have to do with their money. But I think you can put policies into place where when it comes to necessities like healthcare, energy, as far as if you found a gas pipeline or you bring electricity, that should not be allowed to be owned by a private company. That should be essentially a government-owned entity owned by the people because we are the ones consuming it. So why is it owned by a private company? Just like how our BC ferries here, where it's partially owned by private, partially owned by the government, but every year their rates keep going up. The services are nothing better.
Right.
It's the same, and they have all the control because they're controlling the connecting route from the island to Vancouver Island to the mainland. Why is that fair? I get costs of is going up, but look at BC Hydro. They're essentially a privately run company that is using the public's resources. So there's got to be things in place. Like I believe in the States and all around the world, everybody should have access to equal healthcare.
Yes.
That should not be a business.
I know.
They should not be waiting for you to get sick by feeding you the most garbage foods, getting you hooked on sugar,
antidepressants,
alcohol, antidepressants, gambling, all these things, and then saying, okay, now, well, guess what? Now that you're not well, we're going to capitalize on that. And when you do get really sick, you're going to owe us money for the rest of your life because you won't be able to pay these health bills.
Yeah.
That should not
Sad.
be happening to any human being.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. We've got a couple more words left to talk about. What does the word extra mean when someone is saying
I
they're
like that
extra?
one.
Al always says that word all the time.
Because it's like Anza, like to share too much and give so much extra information, or like before you. So just remember, 3 weeks from now, we're going to need to be doing this. And I'm going to remind you again every day for the next week. That's extra. We don't need that shit. This conversation ended 35 minutes ago. Call it a day. Save yourself your own energy. Save everybody else's energy. Save Jesus's energy. He doesn't need to hear that.
Oh my goodness. Well, you're wrong. Extra is actually used to describe someone who's over the top, dramatic, or excessive in their behavior or appearance.
That's
and I'm none
you.
of those things.
Yeah,
Yes, you are.
You're so
Yeah.
extra.
Hey, oh no, I got a glutathione shot. Oh my God, that hurt so bad. I'm going to roll over and die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was just a reaction to the injection.
Yeah, but the your reaction was like Oscar worthy.
Well, I never had an
It
injection
was borderline
like that.
Karen.
It was it was
Yeah.
a painful injection. Okay.
This is a great episode, Ange. I'm really glad you did this one.
Well, we needed.
This is
like,
fun.
I felt we needed some lightheartedness. We were just doing some
You
heavy.
know why? Because it's YOLO.
Okay, let's talk about drip. I like this one. What is when someone says drip? What
I
are
I
they
like that
referring
word
to?
too. I always hear it in
Drip.
the rap music.
Yeah.
Drip.
What are they
Like your
referring to?
jewelry and stuff that you're wearing.
Oh, yeah, because rappers wear a lot of
They're-
gold chains and diamonds in their mouth. I don't understand that concept.
I don't know the full reasoning, but I think it's because when you're wearing such bright jewelry so much, it looks like when the light shines off you, it looks like water's dripping on you because it's shimmering.
Oh.
So then they're like, they call that your drip. Like, I got a nice drip on or nice clothes or whatever.
Okay, Al seems to know. Young
I'm
millennial here
just some
knows.
serious low self-esteem that I got to be wearing all that on me. But okay.
Well, drip is a person's style, particularly their fashion sense or overall swag factor.
Ah.
Next one, flexing. What does flexing mean?
Yeah, showing off, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. In essence, to show off one's wealth,
Yeah.
status, or achievements.
Yep.
Finesse. I like this word, finesse. What does that
God
mean?
finesse. I know this one. You've said it before.
I think finesse is like when you can literally talk your way in and out of anything,
Yeah.
and you basically got yourself in a tough situation, or you were able to basically take advantage of someone without them really knowing it. Like you finesse them. Like when they say, "Oh, he came and he took money, and I didn't even know how he took this much money from me." Like a contractor, he finessed you for that money.
So what I'm hearing is finesse is a fancy word for manipulation.
Yeah, I think so.
Al, you're killing it. You're killing it with these words. So finesse actually means to handle a situation with skill, style, or smoothness.
Like when people say they got
Manipulation.
finesse, most times they don't even know what happened until after the fact.
Okay, here's a good one. I don't know if I didn't even know that this word actually means this when the interpretation was. What does snatched mean? Snatched.
Is that somebody who's really thin,
Snatched.
right? They're really tight. They're very lean, snatched.
I thought it's like snatched up, like you grabbed it or you whatever you thought
Like
it
you
was.
took off with some.
Yeah, like you
stole
snatched,
something.
like when you
Oh.
like you snatched it up like someone's bag or something, like you took
That's
off. And you
shoplifting,
snatched.
you mean?
Oh, this is good. Woo,
'Cause this one I'm not sure.
Shoplifting, because I thought it snatched is like you're so tight, you're so tiny,
Okay.
snatched. No.
So you're both wrong.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
snatch actually refers to describing someone who looks exceptionally good or stylish.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so weird because I would not correlate with you saying
Yeah.
that looks good. You look snatched.
It's a new term.
It must be some sort of British term because they have these weird words.
I
like
don't
that.
know. I don't know, but the cool kids are saying that. So
Okay.
now we
I've
know.
never heard that.
All
one.
right.
Okay, and finally, this one here, my two girlfriends, Heather and Kim. So shout out to them. They actually taught me this one here, and I hope I'm saying it right because I was having some pronunciation issues. Calamity Jane. Have you heard of that?
I've never heard of that.
Calamity
Never heard
Jane.
that, no.
Okay, so Calamity Jane, it's a playful nickname for someone who tends to be accident prone or clumsy.
Calamity.
Yeah, Calamity Jane.
Oh, I think you thought you just called them like klutz or something like that.
Yeah.
No, apparently there's a new term
That's
for that
cool.
now. Yeah, that's what the white folks
Watch
are
out,
saying.
Karen, because Jane is coming.
Okay, that's all she wrote. That's all we have. If you'd like us to, I guess, analyze or give some more interpretation of some cool terms, let us know. Put your comments in our comments box here or DM us, and we can try and find some more hip and trendy terms to discuss and see if all three of us are cool, as they say.
We might have to do an Indian term one day.
Oh my God, we should totally do. Yeah, we should totally do it. Or what's the one that Kapil show he always does? There's so many good ones that you always say.
And it was like Zor da Talia.
Yeah.
Or the one that I always say, "Uppar
No,
se."
say uttar.
Bilkul say uttar.
Okay, well, that's all she wrote for today's episode, friends and family. Hope you had fun learning some new trendy terms with us. Until next week, A Tribe Called Dhillon podcast is signing off. We're going to be back next week. Please check us out on all of our social channels. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We would love your support. Please take care of yourself, and we'll chat next week. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bilkul say uttar.
Thanks, Amitabh Bachchan.
You're welcome.
Okay.